if we are to assume that Bryce Young is the number one pick going to the Carolina Panthers, what kind of quarterback are the Panthers getting? And what is a reasonable expectation for Young's rookie year and for the Panthers going forward?
They're getting the best quarterback in the class. I compare him to Russell Wilson. He also has some elements of Kyler Murray in his game. That's what all the recruiting services were comping him to when he came out of high school. But he stays around in the pocket more than Kyler does. That's what he uses. Bryce Young, that's what he uses his legs for, to scramble around there, try to extend plays, give his wide receivers a shot. And then he just processes the field so well. That's the trump card that he has on all these other kids. And most of the quarterbacks who've come into the NFL over the last decade, he just sees things so quick and he can get the ball out so quick. So that's why he can sort of go up on the high wire, the tightrope act when he's scrambling around, because he trusts his eyes and he gets the ball out so quick. Even when he's in cramped quarters and guys are around his legs, stuff like that, he'll get the pass off and he'll hit someone on the hands.
This week, we're going to talk about the worst teams in baseball, our bottom 5, ranking 26 through 30 as far as which baseball teams we will fade just about every opportunity we can.
Maybe I'm going to be on an island because they're on a 5-game winning streak. But don't leave your priors too much here. I'm still going to say the Detroit Tigers are in the bottom 5 in baseball. Their negative WAR in both hitting and pitching and over 162, we're going to continue to see that. And this is going to be the outlier, this 5-game winning streak. I don't think we're going to see a lot of these from the Tigers this season. So I'm going Oakland, Colorado, Washington, Kansas City, and Detroit, my 5 worst teams.
In my 5th spot, this one kind of pains me a little, but I'm putting the White Sox in it. I mean, they haven't won a series. They split with Houston, but otherwise, I mean, they lost the series to the Giants, to the Pirates. That's those are 2 not so great teams. And the pitching staff, outside of Dylan Cease, I'm not too confident in anyone. They ranked 28th as a staff with a 5.72 ERA. And can they stay healthy? That's the thing with the White Sox, is so much potential on offense. Eloy Jimenez is already on the injury list. Like, I don't know. The White Sox can be a good team, but they've just been a mess so far that I don't have a whole lot of confidence in them. So instead of the Tigers, I'm going with my team that I cheer for in Chicago.
Benjamin, I'm really interested in how the offensive linemen fall. And part of this is some are projected to be guards in the NFL, between Paris Johnson, Peter Skoronski, Broderick Jones, and then the Darnell Wright moving up and up and up as we get closer and closer to Thursday night. Anything that the data is telling you, or any opinions on the order of these offensive linemen?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that the Skoronski, stuff has gone up and down a little bit. I think that he's always been viewed as by evaluators in terms of the team rankings, like the prospect rankings, as the top offensive tackle in this class. I think he'll definitely start at tackle. It depends on what team he goes to, but he probably should start at tackle. He played in the Big Ten. It's not a nobody conference, and he gave up like 2 pressures this year. So I think those guys can get the opportunity to fail at tackle before they move to guard. So I still think Skoronski probably goes first. I don't know necessarily too much. I think some people might be overrating Paris Johnson's talent a little bit. I would be surprised if Paris Johnson was the first. I think that it's really up in the air. I think Darnell Wright, I think people kind of are pushing his floor up, his floor up, his ceiling kind of up. I think his floor is still top 20. I just don't think it's top 10. So to me, Darnell Wright, I think we're hearing a lot, but I don't think that he'll be the first tackle taken. I think it'll still probably be Skoronski. I had Broderick Jones in my last one. It just shows that there's not necessarily too much separating these guys, but I do think Skoronski probably goes first if I had to guess right now, and that's probably what I'll have in my mock draft.
The comeback player of the year bet. And the one man who seems to be a massive favorite here is Damar Hamlin, who has been an incredibly inspirational story as far as being able to come back from his heart ailment on the field last season, being able to come back make the rounds, give some talks, and basically be cleared for football. He is minus 650 to win this award. Kate, is this already over? Is he going to win this award as long as he is out there playing in any capacity?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you would have to have an absolute miraculous season from another player in terms of on-field production and stats and check every single other box for anyone to surpass him in this category. I mean, that was one of the biggest football stories that we have seen in the NFL to date is what happened to Damar Hamlin and the way the entire country rallied around him and just everything he was going through, the Bills were going through. I just don't see a world in which anyone tops that next year.
I don't know, man. This price is crazy. This is a crazy
I'm not saying
price.
I would bet it, but I don't think anyone else beats him.
No, I think you're right. But what does it do? It juices up some numbers, maybe some betting opportunities. I put this on Twitter. Somebody did make a fair response. Well, I think the voters would completely swat this to the side. It is factually correct. He missed one game. He did miss one game, but it's the story. The narrative in these situations just completely take over. Alex Smith, when they showed that E60 documentary and people saw him with his kids and his wife and the scars and everything he was dealing with, just him getting on the field, I think he won. He automatically won. Actually played multiple games that year. And a lot of times we have this debate. What constitutes comeback? What does it really mean? And I thought last year's winner, there was a fair argument against Geno Smith. What are you coming back from? Because typically it is an injury. Joe Burrow, Alex Smith, Andrew Luck. We can go back to, Tannehill was a big injury, right? Or was that performance? I'm trying to think back. That was an injury? I think it was.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. But usually it's quarterback. Okay. So that would be a knock against Hamlin. It has been 5 consecutive quarterbacks now. Luck, Tannehill, Alex Smith, Burrow, and Geno last year. So maybe there's a quarterback that comes through. We know most important position. I do wonder story-wise. I mean, the other tough part is if you want to go against Hamlin, if you think there's a betting opportunity, is he's such a good guy. People love him. Like, that's the other part. He's going to get a lot of votes because of that. The minus 650, Kate, you're probably right. If he gets on the field, if he plays, probably going to win. That's why we have the price.